And welcome back, everyone. Next, we have Metals Corp, trades on the TSXV under the symbol GRDM and on the OTCQB under the symbol MSMGF. It's focused on both lithium and copper nickel projects in the Bird River area, approximately 150 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Happy to welcome President and CEO Robin Dunbar and Chief Development Officer Brandon Smith. Welcome, gentlemen, to the conference today.
Thank you, Anna. Nice to be here.
All right, the floor is yours. Call me back when you're ready for questions.
Okay, fantastic. And hello, everybody out there in the virtual world. We're pleased to make a presentation at this conference, and we're going to tell you a little about Grid Metals and a really exciting time for the company as we're moving forward, developing a critical metals hub in southeast Manitoba, Canada. I'm going to start off just by giving a disclaimer that we will be making some forward-looking statements about the company and where we think it's going. So this disclaimer tells you not to rely on those and do your own investment homework. So yes, so Grid Metals, just to give you an overview, you can see on the map in the upper left-hand corner where Winnipeg is in relation to the USA. We're in southeastern Manitoba, close to the city of Winnipeg, just over the border from Minnesota, and really a good location in central Canada. We've been active in an area outside the provincial capital called the Bird River Sill, which is a mining area and has a history of exploration and production in base metals and lithium. So it's kind of unique in that aspect. As an area of production, metals production in Canada, and we've been active in the belt for almost 20 years, and we're rejuvenating the lithium potential and the base metals. So in short, we have a lithium project which is called Donner Lake, and the price of lithium has really been gone down significantly in the last year. But we're getting this project ready to take advantage of a rebound in lithium prices, and I'll tell you how we're going to do that. And that's it's primarily by being one of the next permitted lithium projects in North America, and using existing processing infrastructure to reduce the cost of building the mill and the mine. So that's the strategy in a nutshell for that. And we have actually two processing options in the area for processing the lithium. We also have a very high potential belt scale copper nickel project with a significant resource, which we just announced. And that's a project that we think has great potential and is has a high degree of exposure to copper, nickel, and also platinum group metals and cobalt. So really important critical metals. And we're looking to start exploration drilling on that project later this year. So really, we have some, we're positioning this company to take advantage of the whole critical metals, cycle here, which for copper nickel is going full bore, and for lithium we think is in a bit of a lull right now, just due to the prices. But we think that's going to come back. So, we think we're well positioned to grow the value of this company over the next number of years. Our share price is about 8 cents. We have about 200 million shares outstanding. Our market capitalization is about $15 million, and we have a little under $5 million in cash. We have two institutional investors who support the company. One is a group called Waratah Capital, and they are the founding fund that started Lithium Royalty Corp, who's an investor in our company and owns 25% of our lithium project. And then a group out of Australia called AMCI Group, which is a private equity fund that invests in a number of producing mines and mining projects around the world. And they are a cornerstone investor as well. A company called Primero Engineering, who's one of the leading companies in process engineering for lithium, is also an investor. And then the management board actually has a little bit more than that now, closer to 5%. And here is our senior management and board team. Myself, I have 25 years experience in the business. I have an MBA. I've been currently the director of a company called McEwen Mining, which is a gold mining company, New York Stock Exchange listed. And I've been a formerly director of a company called Western Areas, which was a ASX listed company, a nickel producer that went through the phase of going from an exploration company to a mining company in nickel, and then was bought out by a company called Independence Group. Leading our technical team is Dr. Dave Peck. Dave's based in Winnipeg, so he heads up the local team there. Dave has a lot of big company experience, including with North American Palladium. They were acquired by Impala Platinum, and prior to that, he was with Anglo American. So he ran their global nickel search group, and he's a PhD in geology from Melbourne University in Australia. Brandon, who's on the call today, just joined us a little over a year ago. Brandon has 12 years experience in capital markets, and he prior to joining GRID, he was a mining analyst at Cormark, and he was covering battery metals developers, including lithium. And Brandon has a master's in financial economics from the University of Toronto. Doug Harris is our CFO. We have a local geology team that's based out at the property in Winnipeg, which is important because we have boots on the ground there, and we're a local company, although I'm based in Toronto. Our board is very experienced guys, and we have one representative each from Waratah, Grant McAdam, and AMCI, Pat Murphy. So overall, we have a good team. This is a map of North America, and I think what you see here is, this has the location of, a lot of the battery plants and proposed battery plants, and, the hydroxide manufacturing, which is a chemical plants which, process lithium. And you see these new plants all being built in North America. And what's really missing in North America are the mines to supply these chemical plants and battery plants. And, this all comes from the push in North America under the Inflation Reduction Act in the US and in Canada, government policy to really, look to electrify a lot of the transportation sector. And so this is, creating demand for lithium and base metals, copper, nickel that go into the batteries. So Manitoba is well positioned. They have a new government there, which is pro mining. It's an established mining area. It's close to the U.S. Winnipeg is a real north-south hub into the U.S. It has very high ESG credentials. The province has 97% of the power is generated from hydroelectricity. So it's quite a unique situation with very low power. So great place to try to establish new mines. And as I said, a defined critical metal strategy, which is important for, companies that are looking to invest, many millions of dollars into projects. You want to know that the jurisdiction that you are in is pro mining, and you can get your project permitted. Just touching on our lithium projects, we really got into the push for lithium starting in 2022 with an investment by Lithium Royalty Corp. We've drilled out a resource of close to 7 million tons, very good grade at 1.4% lithium that's open for expansion. And what we did was, we looked at the area and said, okay, well, to get this mine into production quickly, how can we do that? And there were really two options. There's the True North Mill, which is to the north. There's a provincial road that goes up there, and then there's the Tanko lithium mine, which is a producing lithium operation. So it's really a lithium hub. And we thought, maybe if we can process our lithium product that we mine at one of these two sites, we'd be able to, avoid building our own plant, which would take 3 to 5 years to get permitted and cost probably north of $200 million. So we've spent the last couple of years investigating these options, and that's led us to taking out a lease on the True North Gold Mill. And we still have an MOU with the Tanko lithium mine as another potential place to mine our ore. So, to mill our ore. So we would mine it, put it in a truck, and take it to either True North or the Tanko mine. The Falcon West property is located further south. The northern part of the property is transected by the Trans-Canada Highway. So that's the major east-west highway in Canada. So the infrastructure there is great. We're about an hour and a bit from Winnipeg, you can see. And that's a very prospective greenstone belt. So, in short, it's really got all the attributes to host, major lithium deposit. And, we had a number of historical holes with high grade values. And when we drilled it earlier this year, we got some really high grade lithium values, as well as high grade cesium and also tantalum. So the rare metals that you like to see. So, we think, in longer term, the Falcon West will be a great growth story and, for our lithium. But really what we're trying to do is concentrate in this geographic area so that, our resources are concentrated and that we're leveraging, each dollar that we put into the ground, we can use the same permitting and infrastructure and, social license, all those things that, we can piggyback on for both the lithium and the base metals projects. So the current state of the Donner project is, we starting in the fall last year, we did a lot of work on economic studies to maximize the project metrics. So we've actually drilled off the resource. We did a mine plan, we did metallurgical work, we did capital cost estimation for the True North mill, and we're looking at coming out with a study in the future with a 10-year mine life with steady state production of about 75,000 tons of spodumene concentrate. Spodumene is the mineral that contains the lithium at a very competitive price. And here you can see a picture on the right of these pegmatites that you drill. So the white rock is the pegmatite, the black rock is the rock that it's hosted in. So when somebody goes to mine this, you can see it's very clear what it is you're trying to mine. Our geologist always says that these lithium pegmatites are very similar to coal seams in that they're very continuous, they're tabular, and in our case, the mineralogy is very, very consistent. So the grade of lithium in here is very consistent, which is important for mining. So, we've narrowed this project down in terms of the, how we're looking at, potentially developing it. And that is, looking at two smaller pits and which are right at surface, and then underground mining later. And that's kind of the mine design. So, this project we've advanced, significantly now, with the price of lithium going down, it's not something that we can bring into production right away, but we want to be ready because we think the price of lithium is going to come back in the future. And the reality is that projects in North America and around the world can take many years to permit. And because we don't have to do tailings or build a new mill, we can get this permitted, much quicker. So that's really our strategy. Here's the resource. So this is the what we call it in Canada the 43101 resource. So independently engineered, verified resource. We have two dikes you can see in the blue, the northwest and the main dike. They're about 1 kilometer apart. This is looking down from the bird's eye view. The blue are the ore bodies. The red are the drill holes, and black are the drill holes that we use to define them. And the table on the left is the resource table. So we have about 7 million tons of about 1.4%. We've broken the resource into the portion that could be mined by open pit, which is about 2 million tons. You can see the grade again is very consistent, and then the underground. So that's what we have to work with today. Both of these dikes are open at depth, so we drilled them down to about 275 meters depth. All the holes hit, very consistent. Just at some point we had to kind of pull the plug and say it doesn't make sense to drill, add more resource at this stage. But in our last drill program a few months ago, we drilled a couple deeper holes in the main dike, and that was another 100 meters below, and those hit. So we think we can add to this resource and get it well over 10 million tons, when the time is right. So just to quickly go through the processing options, so you can see on the map to the right, True North Mill, which I'll show a couple pictures of in a minute, is a gold mill that was on care and maintenance. Last produced gold in 2022, and there's a road from our Dunbar lithium projects. You turn left, go to the north, and that takes you right up to true north. We did do a scoping study on that, looking at how to convert the mill from a gold processing operation to a lithium spodumene processing operation. A lot of the major components, crushing, grinding, flotation, are in the gold mill already, so those can be utilized. We would have to add some, various things to, concentrate the lithium properly. But the report basically came out and said that would cost about $50 million if we were to do that, and that the capacity of the mill would be about 450,000 tons per annum. So just to give you a ballpark, using assumptions on recovery, 450,000 tons would give us around 70 to 75,000 tons of spodumene concentrate. The price today of a ton of spodumene concentrate is about $1,200 US. So you're looking at a project at current prices that would generate revenues in the range of over 100 million US. Spodumene prices got as high as 8,000. So 8 times is, almost 8 times as high. We think the long-term mean will revert to somewhere into 1,800 to 2,000, which would, mean that, our cost of production, we think, will be around, 900 to 1,000. So we'd have a nice profit margin in there. So, that's what we're looking at. I mean, all those numbers need to be verified in a independent economic study. As I said, we've done a lot of that work, but that's what we're thinking, that project looks like. So, having an existing, mill to go to and having a lease on that mill is extremely important. And then the other option that, we're still investigating is with Tanco. Tanco is owned by a Chinese company called Sinomine. They bought that project in 2019. They operated a small lithium circuit there, and they're looking at building a brand new mill. So, if that gets built, that's a potential option for us as well. So, as I said earlier, we're really focused on permitting. So, there's an analogy in Manitoba for the Reed mine, which was permitted a number of years ago. That the reason it was similar is they had an ore body and they had an existing mill, so they did not need to build a new plant. And so they were very successful in under 2 years. Going from the submission of their advanced exploration permit to receiving their mining permit. So an advanced exploration permit is something that, allows you to put in roads, buildings, infrastructure, take a bulk sample, and then the full mining permit is the next step. So we're at the advanced exploration permit stage. We've submitted that. We're well down the road on that. And we're now working on submitting a mining permit. So we hope to have a mining permit for this next year, which, is in the realm of things not that expensive, but it adds huge value to the project. So when lithium prices come back, if you have a permitted project, you have something that can, you could get into production much faster. Just to give you a little visual, this is an aerial view of the True North Mill, and the road you can see at the top right of the picture that heads down south to our Donner project. And the True North Mill, as I say, is fully permitted. We would have to do a notice of amendment to get the tailings facility to accept lithium ore. But the nice thing about lithium ore and the tailings is that it's very benign. It doesn't contain sulfide, so this should be relatively simple to permit. And so that's the only permitting we have to do for the mill. So as I say, we did do a study on this mill. It's in great shape. There's lots of room. It's a very small community that's had a long history of mining. The company 1911 Gold that we're leasing it from, they've been in production here since 1911. So a long history of mining. Here's a picture of the crushing and grinding circuit on the right, and the flotation tanks on the left. And you can see that everything's in very good, very modern. The plant has been renovated a number of times. So we have an initial 5-year term followed by a 2-year notice period for cancellation and an option. We have a number of payments that we do over the next couple of years to keep this option alive to be able to use this plant. So you can see the replacement value of something like this would be well over $200 million. And I said earlier, this would take years to permit and get the tailings permitted and build. So we think that's it's a fantastic option, and we've seen a number of other companies around the world looking at this model for processing lithium using existing plants that built for mining other minerals and processing other minerals. The Tanco, we have a memorandum of understanding for a similar type of arrangement. This one's Tanco's a little closer. This is there's an aerial view of the plant at surface. Again, it's fully permitted, it's operating. They were, and are shipping lithium concentrate back to China. And the agreement that we'd had in the works with Tanco is a 50-50 split on sales of the concentrate that would be produced. So we would mine, they would mill it, and we'd split the profits. The True North mill, it's better terms for us, so that's why we're leaning towards that one. But we still have this option if we can expand the amount of lithium ore and finalize that agreement. This slide, what we telling people is, we have a very large property here. We have in 2 years of exploration, we've come up with many targets that we think will give us more resources. So you can see on the left, we've noted the main dike and the northwest dike. The red blobs are really what, when you do soil geochemistry, you get spikes for lithium. We have on the east side of the right-hand side, we have some very large anomalies. We're looking at those now. We plan to drill those in the future, and we think we can grow our resource base to increase the size of this project. So, this is our in-house strategy to grow the our resources over time. And Falcon West, I won't really talk to Falcon, but we have some really nice potential there for lithium longer term. So quickly on our base metal, we have consolidated this whole greenstone belt, very prospective. We have a significant resource, so 46 million tons of copper and nickel in 2 deposits, and then we've acquired several other deposits. We think we want to get this to 80 to 100 million tons through exploration to make a globally significant resource. We have clear targets to do that. The copper market's coming our way right now. Nickel, I think, looks good longer term. We're ready to drill this. So this is a really exciting project. We think that ranks really well with base metal projects. We own it 100%. We have a couple, one small royalty on it. So, and no offtake. So it's a great start for a company. We have about $4 billion in this resource. You can see there's 2 pits, the Mayville. These are pit constrained resources with copper, nickel, cobalt. What you do, you again crush, grind, float, create a copper concentrate, sell it to the smelter. From Makwa, you create a nickel concentrate, sell it to the smelter. These are, particularly Makwa, very good grades for open pits, and these deposits are open at depth. So, this is a great asset. And now with the decline in lithium prices, and just really focusing on permit, we want to go and use some of our available exploration dollars to drill this property later, and particularly focused on the copper, the Mayville. Here's the pit, and so there's a significant amount of metal in these pits, and that's a great starting point for this project. Same for the Makwa, pit constrained, higher grade zones in here, some very high grade nickel zones. 18.7 meters of 1.8% nickel, very robust grades. And, these type of deposits, if you can find the high grade zones in these deposits, can, sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. So what we have is a system, belt scale system that has shown that it's got, volume of resources, it's got high grade, it's got, larger tonnages of open grade, and really hasn't seen much exploration at depth. And the Page area or Fault area on the south, we added those areas. There's some small deposits there. There's a new Manitoba deposit. We added that last year as well. We haven't drilled that. Some really exciting, targets here. So that's going to be the next chapter for us here for Grid Metals is, we're going to go out, drill some holes and, get this property, on the map. So we'll be targeting the Mayville East area. So, you can look at this slide. We have this presentation on our website. We're, undervalued for, the resources that we have. We think we have a good strategy, be ready for the rebound in lithium, create some excitement, show the market the real value of our base metal project, and really look at leveraging infrastructure in this area, all these projects in the same area. So we have lots of synergies. And so, we're positioned going forward to really take advantage of the critical metals in North America. So with that, I'll hand it back over to Anna and we can go from there. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much for this. Yes. We have a question about the plan for development to production. Do you need a partner or do you have the capacity to go into production organically?
Yeah, for the lithium, depending on where we go to process, if we may or may not need a partner. Our existing partner is quite a substantial financial group, so they would be somebody who could help us. The base metals would be a bigger project, so that would be more likely for us to bring in a partner longer term on that.
And talk a little bit about your view of the current lithium supply and demand situation.
Hand that one to Brandon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. So we are still very constructive on lithium. And just for background, we saw an unprecedented rise in 2022 and then, a total collapse in the price in the last year and a bit. So with that sharp rise, it's brought some unconventional supply to the market, tailings, lepidolite from China, lithium from old tin tantalum operations. But, in our view, industry growing at 20%, this can't satisfy the market for long. So, as they say, the cure for low prices, the best cure is low prices. So we think there will be another dislocation between supply and demand. And at some point, we will see an upswing of prices. And so when this happens, we hope to be ready with a fully permanent project to take advantage of the high pricing.
And if you can talk a little bit about copper as well, what's your outlook for copper pricing?
Very constructive. It's maybe a little ahead of itself right now. There's, I think, some speculation going in, but long term, the electrification, things like solar, EVs, just general economic growth. There's not a lot of projects, for versus the rate of demand going later into this decade. So, we see people like BHP, Rio. A lot of big companies are very, very positive. A lot of financial institutions, Goldman Sachs, think that copper prices are going to be higher just based on supply demand. So, in the next few years, I think it's going to be very, very positive.
And when it comes to the next few years, what upcoming catalysts should investors be aware of? What's on your pipeline?
I think the biggest one's going to be, when we do some exploration on our base metals projects, and, people I think will be surprised by, how prospective this ground is, and we're building on a significant resource. So the market always likes drill results. That's a great way to focus the company on the value that we have, and then also progress on our permitting. If we can get our project permitted and make steps towards that, that's a huge catalyst for the lithium project.
Wonderful. Well, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers today?
Yeah, I mean, we think we got some really exciting things. We encourage people to, keep an eye on what we're doing and, get engaged and look for real value in these markets. I think there's some great opportunities in the sector, and we think Grid Metals is one of those.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time and presentation with us. We hope to see you again in the near future with some updates.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Anna.
All right. Thank you both. Okay, stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.